Hello everybody, Tatiana and Vlad here.
Hey, beautiful people.
We are live again. Alive, we're alive. I love this man. This is my beloved Vlad Kukharchuk, and he is a purpose guru and purpose coach. And he's really good at that. He really helped me to find, understand, and be more on my purpose. And it's a really natural gift of yours. Like, seriously, it's just like you're just walking around and just like being yourself puts people on their purpose.
That's what I'm doing in this lifetime.
Right, exactly.
I cannot help myself but uplift and empower people toward the real life job.
Exactly.
Because if you do something with no purpose, why are you doing it?
Then it's
And what's your purpose behind the purpose?
Right.
Why are you doing what you do?
Exactly. So
This
tonight,
is a question.
I would love to talk with you about a really interesting topic. And I really like your unique perspective on that topic. And the topic is man cave. So you know how man goes to the man cave sometimes. And it's really beautiful, amazing experience they have there, I guess. So I know nothing about it, but I'm curious. So can you please tell us about what men do in the man cave? Are they having a party? What's happening in the man cave? And why you guys are going there?
That's a good question. So, I assuming that you guys who are watching this video know the difference how men and women deal with life experience.
No, let's actually tell them, because I think some people might know, but some people might not.
So when the girl, lady, has the experience, emotional experience, she is vocal about it. She needs to express her feeling. If it's excitement, she's loud. If it's anger, she's loud. Whatever she's doing, she's loud. Because this is the main center of ladies, right? That's why they have boobs.
My heart is growing.
That's right. So they're emotional creatures, and it's beautiful. Because like when you have something going on in your life, what do? You pick up the phone and call your girlfriend.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
he's that, and he's that, and 2 hours later, whew, I'm fine.
Right. Or better.
That's right. With guys, it's opposite. Energy center is there, down. Root chakra.
Down there.
There. And some guys are emotional because again we both have feminine and masculine, and it's natural and it's good. And the problem is that most men, what they do, they just zip and they don't say anything when some storm some shit's coming up.
Shitstorm.
Shitstorm, yes. And it was me for a while. I mean, I still doing this. But what happened with me last week, 2 weeks ago actually, I realized that man cave is not healthy. And what I realized that it's okay to go in the man cave. I mean, what man cave actually, so when the man deals with life, he just wanna be by himself, not talk to anyone, and just do his little thing, go to his bubble, cave, cage, room, whatever you call it.
Yeah, and we talked about taking space in relationship in our other video, so check it out if you haven't yet. But yeah, like men taking space by going into a cave.
Yes. And what's happening in the cave? Instead of processing emotions as women do, men tend to shut them down into the system. And what I realized that when I had my last experience, I was playing cool and didn't want to talk about what bothers me. And at the same time, I didn't use any escape mechanism. Baby, can you check out what it says? Is it still on?
Yes. We'll cut this part.
So 2 weeks ago, Tatiana did something that I didn't understand right. So it triggers some stuff, triggered some emotions, and I didn't want to talk about it. So I went to my man cave. And what I realized being in my man cave, that when I don't process emotion, they don't disappear. But the sensation becomes less. And eventually, I wake up next morning and it doesn't bother me as much. But it didn't go anywhere. Men think that it goes somewhere, but it doesn't. It's inside. And in yoga tradition, what they say becomes some scar. So it's basically put the layer on top of your heart chakra. That's why so many men it's like do knock knock knock. Is somebody there? Like what?
Wow.
That's why so many people like they cannot find the partner of their life. They don't enjoy life. They drink, they smoke, they use drugs, they use TV to escape. Alcohol, yes. And just because of this, just because of not saying what they want to say. Because what I realized, I don't want to say something just because I don't want to look weak, I don't want to scream, I don't want to yell, I want to create peaceful relationship. But if I'm not saying, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And this is the other thing. If you don't say something, it doesn't mean that it disappeared. So what I found out, it's okay to be in your man cave. But when you're coming out of the man cave, make sure to resolve that issue.
Right.
Because otherwise, it's not gonna help.
Yeah, and even as we grew up as children and we're getting programmed from the society, right? We learn about this world, so there's certain programs that we are accepting in our system as our beliefs, and especially for men, being alpha male, being strong, not being a pussy, don't cry, and all of these kind of concepts really, well, poor men, really
That's
affect
right.
how they express their feelings and emotions. And
Yes.
as you said, like being weak seems like being weak, being vulnerable. In the end of it is really become difficult and become a problem. And some men have a really hard time in being honest with their partners about their feelings, and that eventually, year after year, can layered up.
Not even a year, I would say day after day, months after months.
Right, yes. And eventually you just come to understanding that there is no more love, there is no more...
And you just live with the other person, like, because you are friends, it's comfortable, it's safe, but it's fucked up, let's face it. And most people live like this. Same with work, same with job. Like, only 15% of people enjoy the job they have. 85% of people don't like their job. And they don't do anything about it. It's like, you know.
So what would you recommend to a man who's going to a man cave on a regular basis and sitting there and not talking to his partner?
Talk to your friend. Talk if you have friends. It's another issue.
Hopefully everybody have friends.
It's another issue. We have so many friends on Facebook, but do we really have friends?
So talk to a friend.
So what helped me a lot is journaling about the issue. Because when I journal, I can, like, I put my thoughts on paper or like on a computer screen, I type, and then I see that the problem is actually not the problem, it's the way I see the problem. So it helps a lot to journal first, like kind of pour all your thoughts onto paper, and then realize, okay, so actually she's not as wrong as I thought she is.
Not as much of a bitch
That's right.
as I thought in the beginning.
Yes, and it's a huge and simple tool. It's super simple, and it's powerful. It's really powerful. And the other thing that I discovered recently, what you can do, you can talk to the person, just to his or her energy. Like,
Wow.
you know, like you don't need to actually express what you want to express to the person in person, but you can pretend that the person is in front of you, and you can scream, you can yell, you can do anything. And when you vocalize, journaling is good, but when you journal and after that you vocalize what you want to say, it makes you lighter.
That's
So you
powerful.
go through that emotion.
Wow, I love
Yeah, but again, the way I discovered all the stuff is emotions. It's thing to you and tapping when you like get into your emotional body and understanding that it's a big issue that we don't talk in our society. Even deep breathing, you know, breathing with the belly, it's a huge thing because people don't use the lungs completely, and all the simple tools help.
that. Yeah.
The easiest way, it's of course, I mean, the best and the easiest way is to find mastermind, join the community of the, I mean, not everyone, brothers, sisters,
Right.
because not everyone is, I mean, it's kind of weird because people, they're ashamed of the problems and they're ashamed to share the problems, and then they just kill themselves or numb themselves with drugs. That's why bars are so popular. Like, what the fuck, people, are you serious? Do you really enjoy going to the bar and getting wasted and wake up next morning with headache and hangover? Is it really fun? Is it?
It's been a while.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like, we kind of partied on Friday night a little bit, and it's Monday night, and I was like, my energy is down for 3 days, and I'm thinking to myself, like, it was fun, but...
Yeah, and I really like the point that you brought, that when you're not solving the issue, it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
And we also talked to one of our friends recently who went through a breakup, and he was telling that, oh, you know, I'm a little triggered right now, but like a year later I'm gonna be fine. And I was actually sharing with him that if you're not process the problem, if you're not talking about like emotions and feelings, and there's something inside of you that is really not resolved, even if it's just with you, like you don't even have sometimes to talk to another person or talk to their spirit, just like Vlad said right now. But you gotta kind of like bring it out, so then you're really in peace with yourself. Because if there's something bothers you and something kind of like nagging on your heart and you don't work on it, eventually it's going to become less and less of an issue, right? Because there's other things that are piling in our life, and we forget, and we say like time is healing, which partially it is. But then if there's a real emotion there and you don't work on it, it's going to come up years or months later, and you can see it as an example of something happening in your life, and then 5 years later the event can trigger that. Like, it's like something is poking into the wound,
Right.
and sometimes like 3, 5, 8 years down the life, it's still triggering, right? So it doesn't go anywhere. It's just become less of the primal issue in your life, but it doesn't go anywhere. So with different tools, like I love to use tapping and other tools, you can really check yourself, and then you feel lighter, then you feel really good, and there's nothing like in your backpack. You just like light and happy about life rather than carrying that weight. And you can see sometimes with age, people carrying that weight of emotions, of years of emotions and events that they just decided to not talk about or forget about, and it's there. You can see it in their faces, in their body postures, and in their mood and attitude towards life. So it's really important to pay attention to that.
Yes, and it's like, think about it as like a hard drive, right? We understand computers. Most of us understand computers, and if you delete information from computers, there is programs or whatever tools to like what do you call it, to restore the information. Same with us. Like, if you haven't fixed it, it's still there, even though you thought you deleted it. It's still there. And the interesting part, what I think, that universe is going to send you the same thing over and over and over, the same lessons, until you like figure out, oh wow, why it is, or like it, or you say like it's enough, enough is enough. That's why so many people attract the same people or the same problems, because
right.
they haven't processed the problem itself. They think that they processed, and people complain a lot, but instead of complaining, look at the issue as the lesson. And what is the lesson? Because usually when you don't like something about someone, it's because you haven't done your work in the past.
That's right.
And you can be smart about it and do your work, or you can be a little pussy and complain about shit. And be miserable piece of crap, you know?
So, if you are in the man cave and you're staying there, 3 things that you can do. You can journal, you can talk to a friend, or you can talk to a spirit of a person who you kind of have a little issue with. So thank you so much for those.
And one more thing, you can do nothing about it and just die miserable. That's what's up. That's what's up with most people. So, sorry, I know you wanted to finish, but I need to bring my 2 cents.
Please.
Look around you. Your relatives, your friends, your co-workers, people on the street. Do you like the way they live? If yes, follow that advice. If you don't like and you don't want to have the same future for yourself, find that people who have what you want to have and follow the advice. But use your critical thinking, your analytical thinking. Don't just like consume everything. Listen to it, try. If it doesn't work, bye. But if you hear something and your immediate reaction is bullshit, it's bullshit for you because you've never tried. So don't try to argue about something that you've never tried. So try it, see if it works. Tatiana, I paraphrase you again. Journaling, talking to the friend, talking to the spirit of energy, community.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for enlightening us about the man cave.
Anytime.